I've been pretty bored recently, and I've been watching a bunch like Super Mario World ROM hacks, especially the Kaizo type. I've played a couple of these hacks and they're pretty fun. So fun, I wanted to make one myself. So I booted up Lunar Magic and then proceeded to do absolutely nothing. Too complicated for someone like me. So I got a little bit discouraged, and then I had the most brilliant idea I've ever had living on this earth. Why not make an actual Kaizo game? Like a fully fleshed out Kaizo game that people can play on Steam. I know stuff like Super Meat Boy exists, but this will be totally different. It will be wacky but not too wacky like Pizza Tower, hard but not too hard to the point where it's miserable. I think people would enjoy something like this. The fast-paced learning gameplay that you can master and complete perfectly feels like a reward. I think more people should experience something like that. When you complete a level in a Kaizo ROM hack, you get a sense of joy and relief that I've never seen anywhere else. And the unique elements that add on to one of my favorite Mario games is awesome. First, I had to think of a platform where I could build and make the game. I thought of Unity, but that seems too complicated, and I don't think I could learn it fast enough. I thought of Unreal Engine, but I don't think I've ever seen someone make a 2D platformer in that engine. So that leaves me with one option, Godot. It's easy to learn from what I've heard, and it's perfect for something like this. The coding aspect also isn't hard from what I've heard. I think it's a modified version of Python or something. I know a little bit of Lua, so I think I can handle that. My goal for this project is to release a game around June no matter how much I have completed. I want to make some of the most satisfying gameplay in a platformer ever, with unique art and extremely good music. I can make art and I can make music, so what could possibly go wrong? Alright, so wait. I don't even have any sprites to use. I can't recycle sprites from Nintendo, I'd probably get sued. I need to make some pixel art, so I went around looking for the best free pixel art maker, and I kept getting Add Sprite over and over again. It's not free, but it has the best support, and it has the script that I need for this project. So I bought it. Not much to say about this day, to be honest. I just copied some Super Mario World sprites and drew over them. I realized mid-attempt that I don't really know how to make pixel art, so this will do. I made the character sprites and edited some blocks. Now we can actually start making the game. I installed Godot for the first time, booted up the program, not knowing the horrors and torture I would experience for the next week and some. I started off by creating a new project, and then a new 2D scene. I kinda just stared at the empty gray void for a while until I decided to actually do something, and created a tile map layer. This tile map layer essentially is the foundation of the game. On this layer, you can place your sprites and make them do whatever you want. And we don't want to use a regular layer for this. A regular layer is for images, not tile sets and sprites. When you create your tile map, you have to import an image, and then Godot automatically configures it and stuff like that. It took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out that you can import an sprite file, but I figured it out. The thing I like about Godot is that it automatically assigns collision to tile sets, and if you do want to modify the collision, it's super easy to do. Anyways, I started placing down the floor and made a color rectangle that will serve as the background. I placed down some more blocks and obstacles the player can avoid that don't function yet, so it isn't just a concrete floor. I placed down my purple kill blocks, which will kill the player upon touching them, and my light blocks, which will emit light, or at least give off the impression that it is. Also note during this time that I didn't know how to change the resolution of the tile map, so for some time the sprites and blocks will look low quality. I proceeded to make a simple camera script following this YouTube video from White Yoshi Egg, whose video I borrowed a lot from. I don't know if you're seeing this, or if you're ever gonna see this, but thank you. Without your video I probably wouldn't have made this at all, I probably wouldn't have made it this far. I then imported the character sprite sheet and realigned the grid space to fit the character. Oh, I should probably talk about the main character of this series. He doesn't really have a name yet, so his name is Buddy for now. He's a reskin, cooler version of Mario. He's not based off of me or anything, he's just a placeholder for now. There will be a character that is crucial to this game and is a part of the main gimmick for this game, but I'll save that for part 2. He doesn't really have any special qualities, and he won't talk because I can't voice act, and I don't want to spend any money on voice acting. It also just wouldn't fit this style of game. Anywho, later in the day, I edited his sprite sheet once again because I didn't know, and I still don't know, how to match the sprites together to make a full body. So I had to match everything by hand in the Add Sprite file, and make a walking sprite, a diving sprite, and a crouching sprite. Making an animated sprite 2D in Godot was relatively easy. It was basically the same thing as a tile map layer. I attached it to a character body 2D node, and now we have a semi-functioning character that has animations. So now the player can actually walk and stuff. That's about it for day 2. I'm very proud of myself so far. Even though the game I created isn't really a game at all yet. I created all of this in a day, even if the code was somewhat not mine. I forgot to record for this day. I worked on the character script that will allow the player to move and interact with the world around him. So begins my torture. This was hell, and I mean complete hell. So I borrowed some code from the White Yoshi Egg video, and it's a pretty detailed and thorough replication of Mario's physics in Super Mario World, which I want. I modified it to work, and it was okay. I mean, you could run and jump and all of that, but you couldn't duck or dive, which are two essential features I want to implement into my game. So I started working on it and made functions for the two, but I ran into some major roadblocks. When I duck, I slide all over the floor. The duck animation doesn't even work. Diving is broken. The diving animation is broken as well. And the other animations beside those two don't even work. I lied when I said two, but you get the point. I had a lot, and I mean a lot of work to do. This script would be the death of me. I worked endlessly, and I mean for hours trying to get this shit to work, and I mean it would not work. I tried my hardest, I really did. I didn't record these days because I was working on another video, which I uploaded to my main channel. You should go watch, it's pretty cool. I was also pretty busy with school that day. I continued to work on the character script, and I did something that would help me in the long run. I created variables which I set to false automatically. These variables were walking, falling, diving, etc. Whenever I performed an action, I would set that variable to true, and set the others to false. I don't know if this is bad coding, but it worked. At least for the animation not playing problem. With this fix, I also realized the problem was that the functions were overriding each other. When you wanted to perform a function, but another one was being performed, for example, crouching after diving, the one you would perform first would take priority, and would override the other function even though you press it after. That's why assigning them variables worked, because it would shut out the function no matter what till the action was finished. Adding print messages when the action was performed also helped me realize this. That's about it for day 7. Pretty good day, I'm happy with what I did. I don't think I did anything on this day. Today, I started on my death mechanism. Death is something essential that all platformers need. It gives incentive to actually play the game and complete it. Without death, what's the challenge in a platformer? Like I said earlier, I placed down some death blocks, and they didn't have any function. Today, they gained that function. As usual, I didn't have a clue in the world what I was doing. I looked up how to create a death mechanism. I found a pretty good video, which I forgot the name of. I'll put it on the screen now if I find it. The video had a bunch of mechanisms and stuff that I don't have in my game yet, so it didn't really work. I realized that and fixed up some of the code. Now it works. I added a respawn spot and a collision mesh, so now when you touch it, it kills you. Also, I believe today was the day I figured out how to make the textures and sprites high quality. It was so simple. All you had to do was change the resolution from nearest to, I forgot what I changed it to, but I'll put it on the screen. Today, I imported some more sprites from Super Mario World using the script, and I reskinned them. I imported this great mesh, grass, and this Japanese sign I found. They made the game look a lot better in my opinion. I started implementing the UI. UI is a crucial part of games, but figuring out a good balance between simple and unique can be hard. If my UI is annoying to the player, it could break the entire game, so I need to make sure it's simple, but allows the player to see crucial information, like the time and how many deaths they have. I knew I wanted it to be something like Super Metroid. I love how it's kind of in the way, but allows you to see stuff like your power-ups. I also like how simple it is. It's just a black rectangle box with stuff on it, but it gets to the point and I've never seen a single complaint about it. So I decided to follow in the footsteps of Super Metroid, and I made a black rectangle box. Yesterday, I actually forgot to add stuff to the box, so today I did that. I ran into a couple of problems. For some reason, the UI wasn't following the player on the screen. I sat there for, no joke, 30 minutes trying to figure it out. So I searched it up and I found the issue. This box isn't the screen output. This huge ass box over here is. So I moved everything over here and I started on the font. For now, I'll just borrow the Super Metroid font and I'll recolor it. Day 14, I had a test. Today, I updated the character sprites and fixed some code involving the character script. I had an issue where when the player would crouch, they wouldn't crouch properly. You may remember this from earlier in the video. The way I want crouching to work is that even if you're in the air, you'll crouch no matter what, and you will stop moving. First, I added a new hitbox that changes whenever you enter the crouching state. Then, using the variables I created earlier, I shut off all other functions when crouching and set the velocity to 0. You still slide, I don't know why. The velocity is set to 0, so I don't know how that's possible. If anybody knows why this is happening, please comment and let me know. I also fixed up the diving mechanism, using the same fix as the crouching mechanism, and now that works as well. Today I created my first animated block. It was pretty complicated, but a couple of Google searches helped a lot. You had to align the block so that it would play in order from left to right, just like the character sprite sheet. What I like about creating an animated block is that you can do it within the tile map layer node, so I don't have to create another layer just for them. The death blocks look a lot better now, just like in Super Mario World. I forgot what I did this day, I'm sorry. Probably just chilled and studied. For the finishing touches of this episode, I created the background. In Super Mario World, most of the levels have this cool background effect where they scroll only if you move. I later learned that this is called parallax, and Godot has a dedicated mode for it. It was pretty easy to set up, and a YouTube video I watched helped me figure it out. I copied over the clouds from Super Mario World and edited them to my liking. I also made the solid purple background move with you, so it's not a huge, ridiculously sized purple rectangle anymore. I studied for a test and watched Seinfeld. And that's about it for this episode. Overall, the game looks pretty solid. It's definitely a level. You can die, dive, crouch, etc. I honestly thought I would never get this far. I thought it would look way worse, but it actually came in clutch and looks pretty good. I'll be uploading more videos documenting the creation of this game from start to finish. Yes, this will actually be a game you can play, and it will have bosses, a hub, etc. I plan to release it on Steam, hopefully one day. I have created socials on Twitter and Blue Sky, places like that, so you can see live updates about the game if you're interested, so go follow me if you're interested in my adventure. Next video, I'm planning to implement moving, interactable blocks, enemies, a death message, and hopefully creating the start of the game. What should I add? What do you think my platformer needs? My favorite comments I'll add to the game. But anyways, thanks for watching. This is only the beginning of the journey, a very, very long one at that. We haven't even scratched the surface. Have a good night, or whenever you're watching this.